All right, let's just get right into it, because this is a big one. You know that deep, kind of quiet fear that sits in your stomach when you're thinking about a life partner? Yeah, that one. It's the kind of thing that can keep you up at night, just replaying every little thing in your head.
And it all boils down to this, doesn't it? How do you really know if this person is the one Allah has written for you? I mean, everyone loves to throw around that phrase. Oh, you'll just know. But let's be real for a second. Most of the time, we don't know. It feels like we're just stumbling around in the dark, trying to follow feelings that, frankly, can lead us way off track.
And this right here, this just hits the nail on the head. We grab onto these temporary feelings, the butterflies, that initial comfort, and we mistake them for solid signs. But the scary part is, you can wake up years down the line and realize you've been holding the wrong hand the whole time, all because you misread the signals from the very beginning.
That's the real fear, isn't it? The one we don't really talk about. The stakes just feel so incredibly high. So that's what we're going to do here. We're going to push past all those tired cliches and really dig into the subtle, genuine signs that Allah actually puts on your path when He's guiding you to your person. So where do we start? Well, it all begins with this search for certainty. We're looking for a clarity that's way deeper than just a gut feeling. And in our tradition, that search almost always starts with a very specific, very powerful prayer.
And that prayer is, of course, istikhara. Now, I'm sure most of you have heard of it, right? But there are just so many myths and misconceptions floating around out there. So today, we're going to demystify it. We're going to talk about what it's really for and what the signs actually look like, according to the teachings. When you strip it all down, istikhara is just beautifully simple. It's really just you turning to Allah and saying, hey, I have this huge decision to make, like marriage, and I need your guidance. You're not asking for some magic trick or a movie moment. You're just asking Allah to guide you to whatever is truly best for your faith, your life, and your hereafter.
Okay, this is so important because it gets right to the heart of the biggest misconception. How many of us were told to look for a dream? You see the color green or some kind of symbol, and that's your answer. But the teachings are actually really clear on this. The main sign is not a dream. It's a feeling, a sense of peace that settles in your heart. It's the absence of that nagging, restless feeling. And it's seeing things in the real world just start to get easier.
And look, the proof is right there in the words of the dua itself. You're not praying, "Oh Allah, please show me a dream." No, you're asking, if this is good for me, make it easy for me. And if it's bad, turn it away from me. See? The answer isn't a vision. The answer is either things getting easier or things getting harder.
So the takeaway here is you have to start paying attention to what's happening inside your own chest. When it's the wrong person, you might notice that after you pray, there's this subtle, heaviness that you can't quite explain. But with the right one, it's not some crazy explosion of fireworks. It's a quiet, slow clearing of all that confusion. Your heart just feels lighter, not heavier. That feeling, that's your answer. Okay, so we've talked about the internal feeling you get from the prayer, but what about the external signs? How does that guidance actually show up in the real world? Well, Allah also places signs in the dynamic of the relationship itself. Real, tangible things you can actually see and feel as you get to know someone.
And this is just an incredible checklist to keep in mind. Think about it. With the person who's right for you, their flaws don't make you second-guess everything. Instead, they kind of bring out a sense of mercy in you. You realize you're actually pointed in the same direction in life. Yeah, you'll have disagreements, but they end. They don't get saved up as weapons for the next fight. And this is a big one. You feel like you're becoming more of yourself, not shrinking. And last but not least, the whole process just feels easier, like doors are opening for you, instead of constantly being slammed in your face.
This wisdom from the Prophet, peace be upon him, just backs this up so perfectly. It's not about finding someone who's flawless. That person doesn't exist. It's all about balance. A relationship that's meant to be doesn't get stronger because you ignore the bad stuff. It gets stronger because you see the flaws and you still choose mercy, and you can still find joy in all their other amazing qualities.
And honestly, this point is so fundamental. You and your partner can be the most forgiving people in the world, but if you're walking in completely opposite directions, one's going north, the other's going south, eventually that rope is going to snap. It's just not sustainable. A true partner isn't just someone who shares your feelings, they share your mission, your core why in life.
And all of this leads to a really important shift in how we think about this whole thing. See, the goal isn't just to find the person. That's only step one. The real ultimate goal is to build a life with them, a life that's filled with what we call barakah, that divine blessing.
So what even is barakah? Well, it's not just about being happy all the time. It's deeper than that. It's this divine goodness, this grace, that makes a little feel like a whole lot. It's the secret ingredient that makes a marriage strong enough to get through the tough times. It brings a deep, profound peace into your home, and it helps both of you grow closer to Allah. That is the real prize you're after.
And when you have barakah, you see these beautiful results, these fruits. You get sakina, that incredible tranquility in your home. You get mawadda, a deep, genuine, affectionate love. And you get rahmah, that compassionate mercy for each other that keeps the love alive. I mean, this is what we're all trying to build, right?
So when you put all these signs and these goals together, it all points to one last major mindset shift you have to make. And it's all about the difference between frantically chasing what you think you want versus peacefully recognizing what Allah has already written for you.
And this just lays it out so clearly. The chasing path, that feels like you're just constantly running into brick walls. Your heart is always restless. And you find yourself kind of chipping away at parts of who you are just to try and make things fit. But recognizing what's meant for you, that feels completely different. It feels like ease. It feels like that calm that settles over you after prayer. It feels like you can finally truly be yourself, and the other person is right there with you.
So in the end, it really all comes down to this one question. What are you actually looking for? We're so often taught to look for fireworks and big, dramatic, movie-style signs. But maybe the signs were always meant to be quieter, simpler, like the feeling of a heart that finally finds peace after prayer. A path that feels less like you're forcing it and more like you're being gently guided home. Now that is the kind of clarity that's worth waiting for.